All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. This is called Cruising with the Case Handler, a show initiated and put together by, of course, yours truly, David Squeezaniki and Adam Handler. We jumped it off just about at the beginning of the year. We've been having a lot of fun with the show, but more importantly, giving a lot of information. You know, I got a lot of attorneys around me today. I have an additional attorney with me today, so I got a lot we're going to be talking about. As a matter of fact, this attorney speaks in capacity of one of the things that I love to talk about. And of course, it's, you know, a lot of people out there who need to understand more about the O visa and the P visa and so forth. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, let me cut off my other Zoom here because everybody else wants to speak to me. But Cruising with a Case Handler. Now, before I introduce the attorneys, I am David Squeezaniki, a businessman, a broadcaster, amongst other things, a father. And I have been on the station for well over 20 years, since 1996. I'm showing my age. And one of the things that I'm so proud of is actually doing a law show, okay, a talk show with attorneys. And Adam Handler has been there for well over 15 years, okay, the most celebrated personal injury attorney in the entire Caribbean community, and obviously and evidently on this station 93.5. And we have taken it to Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, the new era of social media, okay, that has pretty much taken over the world, where people are now reaching out to us via the Facebook platform, the Instagram platform, you know, and here we are. We're talking personal injury, we're talking immigration. However, I would like to say this before I get into them in 60 seconds rather. I want everybody that's actually listening to us on 93.5 FM, switch over to Facebook right now. Switch over, because come the top of the hour, we're off the station. And I want to ensure that you're actually watching us, listening to us. There's a wealth of information that will be coming from these attorneys. Make sure you switch over to Facebook. If you don't know how to, I've got an idea. Walk over to your kid and say, hey, set me up on Facebook. Yeah, I said it. Okay. A lot of you need to get with the times. Come on.
Just find a millennial anywhere you can find one. Just grab them. They've got nothing else going on in their lives anyway. You'll just grab them and say, you need to set me up on social media. You need to let me know how I can listen to Adam Handler, the maestro Conrad Pollack, the Maverick Nelson Madrid, and Alexandra Boss Lady Bondikov.
I like that. Oh, wow, we got a nickname for her already. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the other thing I would like, wow, a lot of people tuning. Now, the other thing that I would like for you to do as you switch over from 93.5 FM to David Squeezaniki's Facebook page, or the Case Handler Facebook page, or PPID's Facebook page, I want for you to actually start sharing. Sharing is caring. Sharing is helping. I am quite sure every one of you watching this, listening to the station 93.5 FM, you know someone who's out of status. You know someone who needs help. You know someone who may have gone elsewhere and did not get help. Okay, you know someone who did not do the right thing and decided not to go to an attorney, went to the lady on the corner of Goniel Road, the dude down the block on Eastern Parkway, and the guy over there, you know, on Sutpin Boulevard. No, I don't advocate for that. Okay, in all my years doing immigration talk, I know more than likely I could probably answer 90% of the questions, but I've never, ever answered one. Why? No, I consider myself, ladies and gentlemen, a true person to the game. And when you have professionals, you use professionals. I don't care what it's going to cost me. I prioritize myself. I put that money together and I go to the right person. Attorneys, that's what I do. And I want for you to do that. However, we've got free consultation that we're doing where immigration is concerned. And obviously, you know, personal injuries on a contingency basis. We need to go with Cruising with the Case Handler. So right now, we got to remind you, this is Cruising with the Case Handler, brought to you by the law firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. You can call them at 844-774-3529. But I want to see more people sharing the page. We're up to, believe it or not, Adam, we're over 50 concurrent viewers right now and growing. So people, share the page, share it in groups, share it on pages, share it on your timelines. That's what you got to do. Let's introduce, of course, the team right now, ladies and gentlemen. I've got, obviously, you heard him earlier, okay, the case handler, Adam Handler, the man who has settled well over $100 million for his clients, and evidently majority of them being in the Caribbean community. So I want to welcome Adam Handler. I want to welcome Conrad Pollack, a managing partner. This guy actually works. How many law firms, got people of his capacity who, is working. I've been to law firm. They don't even participate. I mean, you just run the firm. But we've got Conrad Pollack, okay? We've got Nelson Madrid, okay? Call him the Maverick, okay? He's, in my opinion, excellent with people who are in removal proceedings, people who have gotten arrested. You gotten arrested, you paid your debt to society, you want to stay in the United States, you don't know if you can, you don't know if you will, you need to go with Nelson Madrid, ladies and gentlemen. Any kind of arrest that you have ever had in going through an immigration situation, make it Nelson. And of course, last but the best, of course, the only lady that's on the platform with us on Cruising with the Case Handler happens to be Alexandra Bondikov. Did I pronounce it right? Or Bondikov?
Yes, you did, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the show. I heard
you.
You're extremely proficient in the area of O visas, G visas, and more. So we are looking forward in hearing a lot from you on that. I've worked with a lot of models throughout the years. I have worked with a lot of entertainers throughout the years, a lot of reggae entertainers and other entertainers, so we'll be talking more about that. But my colleague, Adam Handler, I need for you to jump in and talk to us, man. I know you got a lot to say. You look like it.
Listen, I'm always, over on Monday, it's all built up over the weekend. I keep thinking about the great work we're going to continue to do week in and week out. And this is a perfect example of what we're doing to give back to the community that's embraced us. We have now 4 attorneys. One of them may be dying, but four attorneys right now here to answer.
For a minute there. Go on.
Here to answer questions. Personal injury, like you said, contingency fee. Not a lot of people understand how I'm compensated, how the firm is compensated in a personal injury case. In fact, I had a new case on Friday come to me, and last night he texted me saying, how much do I owe you if we don't win this case? First thing I said to him is, how dare you even question whether or not we're going to win this case?
Right.
I'm not going to guarantee a result, but man, you got to have a little faith in your boy. The second thing, the answer is absolutely nothing. I work on a contingency fee, meaning I get paid if and only if I'm successful for you. My fee comes out of the amount of money that we win for you. It's a standard contingency fee that all personal injury attorneys use. 1/3 to the lawyer, 2/3 to the clients. Of course, all tax-free money to the clients. So there's really no risk to you at all. No reason why you shouldn't have what you believe to be the best possible attorney fighting for you and your family when it comes to compensation for the medical bills, the time out of work, and your pain and suffering. So, we're ready to do business this week. And as I said to you yesterday on Facebook and on the radio, and I'll continue to say so, this week and over again until our offices down at 225 Broadway are reopened. We are still open for business. We're still settling cases. In fact, my associate.
Let me just interject there because I like to make things clear because I had a weird call over the weekend. Yeah, it's on the 3rd floor, people. 3rd floor, 1, 2, 3. 3rd floor, not higher. On the 3rd floor. Let me repeat.
Oh yeah, you never want to pass the 3rd floor. First of all, the commute is so much shorter. For me, people said, "Oh, you work?" Because I used to work in that building before, and people said, "Well, you still work in that building. How's that working out?" I go, "Well, the commute is shorter because I'm only going to the 3rd floor now." So it's all good stuff. But Matt, my associate extraordinaire, is going to be on teleconferences today with the court, video conferences, trying to settle cases. So we are moving cases. We are getting big bucks for our clients, even though the courts aren't physically open. I mean, we're over $10 million this year so far in 2020, which is unbelievable because it seems like the world has come to a screeching halt, but we're still doing what we need to do to make sure that our clients are taken care of, because we always say, and we'll say it again, they have one chance to get it right? No redos in personal injury. One chance, one choice, your case handler team. But you got to have that number saved. And that's 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID law. I want to give a shout out to all the first responders that did an amazing job over the weekend, all the healthcare workers that did an amazing job over the weekend, all the news media and the press that did an amazing job over the weekend covering the pandemic, including my brother Ian, who's one of the head cameraman for Channel 11 News, and he's listening right now with his team and keeping everybody safe and informed. So thanks, guys out there. And let's get to it. A big week for the case handler team, a big week for PPID. We have a guest attorney on today speaking a little bit more about a specialized aspect of immigration law. So I say we jump right into it, Squeeze.
Absolutely, and I will let Conrad do the honors in actually introducing Alex. I call her Alex. That's what I'm going to call her.
Everybody does.
Okay.
It's a lot easier.
Alex and her capacity at the law firm PPID. Once again, before I turn it over to Conrad in 10 seconds, everyone who wants to get a free consultation, you've got to call this number before the top of the hour. It's now 8:44. You got to call 844, okay? PPID Law. That's 844-774-3529. Every single person that wants a 100% free consultation, call before the top of the hour. Off the air, you'll get that private consultation with an attorney. And the number, once again, is 844-774-3529. Slower, 844-774-3529. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the managing partner, the maestro, Conrad Pollack, and let him introduce Alex and her capacity. Go ahead, Conrad.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Monday morning. Thanks for the introduction, and Squeeze, thanks for having us again. This is becoming part of our morning routine now. It's been, what is it, a week and a half we've been doing this show now?
Yeah.
And as I said, it's becoming part of my routine. As I've mentioned several times, I have a real hard time getting up early in the morning, so this is helping me, getting me an early start on the day. Anyway, as I've mentioned previously, at our firm, we have a practice of bringing in the highest level professionals. Since we've been together, since the firm has been, since we were created, I forget how many years ago, it's always been a goal of mine, a goal of my partners to bring in the best. That's why we have a gunner like Nelson Madrid on the team, who, if you have a deportation issue, he's your man. I know that if I was an immigrant in this country and I had an issue where immigration was trying to remove me, there's only one person that I'd call, and that would be Nelson Madrid, the Maverick, as we all call him now. By the same token, the young lady sitting I guess on the screen to my right, Alex has been with us now for several years, and she has basically taken over our corporate practice. She runs it as well as it's ever been run. And one of her particular specialties, I don't know if I'd call it a specialty, she has many, but one of her areas of interest happen to be O&P visas. Always not one of my forte in terms of things that I've been doing over the years, although I certainly can handle myself. This is her particular area of expertise, and that's why we wanted to bring her on, because I know a lot of the listeners out there have issues in terms of what those visas are, how to apply for them, how to maintain them, how to change status to them or from them. So I wanted to bring her on and let her talk a little bit about that. Before I get to that, though, I just want to tell you with regard to developments that happened last week in terms of that ban, the Trump ban on immigration or people with applying for green cards outside the United States. Again, as I said last week, and I'll say it again, it only applies to applicants that are not in the United States. And then only a limited number of those persons, typically people that are relatives, spouse or children of permanent residents, and employers who are sponsoring a prospective employee. Only those outside the United States were affected by the ban. There was a lawsuit filed on Saturday morning in federal district court in Oregon, seeking a preliminary injunction on hopefully staying the implementation of that order. Hasn't happened yet. I'm assuming it'll be on the court's docket today or tomorrow. And of course, as information develops, we will provide it here as soon as we know. Anyway, without further ado, I want to introduce Alex Bondikov and let her get started. Alex, take it away.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here. It's my first time on radio, so bear with me. I do love O's and P's, mostly because they're very fact intensive, and it gives me an opportunity to learn a lot about music, and they're a lot of fun. I will be speaking to the O and P as they pertain to the entertainment industry, because the O1 actually covers a much wider scope. They can be for people in fields like science, business, athletics. But as far as the entertainment industry is concerned, for performing artists, O's and P's are the way to go. The O1 is for individual performers, dancers, actors, singers, musicians, who have extraordinary ability in that field. And the way immigration determines whether somebody is extraordinary is, have they won a Grammy, right? If they have, like Adele, for example, they'll get an O1 visa. But not everybody is of that level. So there's an alternative way to qualify, as long as the artists can produce evidence that they meet at least 3 of 6 enumerated criteria. And they look at things like, have they won some lesser national awards? Is there publication about them? Do they have commercial success in their country and internationally in terms of, CD sales, airplay? Do they perform in a leading or starring capacity in a show? For example, many of my clients who happen to be Bulgarian, just as I'm Bulgarian, have been invited to be judges either on The Voice or The X Factor or whatever, things like that. We're talking about individual performance. The P.
So pretty much, Alex, you've got to be like the Michael Jordan in your class or your field, right? You've got to be like the Michael Jordan in your class or your field. Is that it?
You have to be very high up there, but again, not just the Michael Jordans, but people who may not have reason up there, but still have extraordinary ability. And the way you judge it is,
they have a prominence, they're well known.
Exactly.
Okay, but they have to prove that for the O visa, right? So
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And as you have probably heard on this radio many times, the devil is always in the details, right? Mm-hmm. So it depends on how strong of evidence the artist has, right? If they have publications, are they in major media? Is it in a trade journal, right? If they've won an award, what kind of award is it? Is it, record of the year in the particular country, or, the most played song, or, best new artist, things like that. So you have to prove it. Like I said, it's very document intensive. And it's, whether or not, you qualify takes a lot of research and analysis upfront. But if you have at least 3 criteria, if you meet at least 3 criteria, then, we can certainly make a very good case.
What about recommendation letters? Can people get recommendation letters from other prominent individuals to actually,
certainly. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. When I've done my cases in the past, I've actually gone as far as getting a letter from the Minister of Culture attesting that this particular person has contributed a lot to the culture, depending on what particular field of their endeavor is. If it's folklore music, you look for, folklore professor who would attest to their masterly level. Or producers.
Okay, yeah, I have actually asked a couple of my celebrity friends to actually write letters for individuals who actually needed, that to actually get them through the process, and I mean, they knew the individual and everything, obviously, and it was able to actually help them. But I've also seen where a lot of clippings and write-ups on the internet also can assist and help the individual that's coming. But one of the questions I wanted to ask you is the O visa exclusively for people in the entertainment field? Or let's say someone from Jamaica has a degree and is excellent in the capacity of marketing. Could they go for an O visa, or would they go for another visa?
The O1 covers many fields, not just entertainment, right? So somebody in the degree marketing could qualify potentially for an O1 in the field of business. Mm-hmm. Right? But those are, in my experience, a little bit trickier. I think that, artists get a lot of deference when CIS adjudicates their petitions, and it's because I think art is largely subjective. When you have a more concrete field that lends itself more to a quantitative analysis, it's trickier, but potentially yes. But again, a degree on its own is not going to qualify a person for no one in business. We have to look at their contributions, whether they're considered major in the field, whether this person has had publications, whether others in the field use the work that he's done and his publications, whether they've been cited in journals, things like that. So potentially, yes. But again, the devil's in the details.
Right. Before you get to the P visas, I just wanted to, and Conrad, you can tell me, and Alex, you can tell me, or Nelson, and I do believe, Conrad, your president advocates for this. The the area where he's looking to have people who are more educated come into this country. So those individuals with degrees actually should come to the law firm PPID to speak with an attorney about getting sponsored in a job. That is quite possible, isn't it?
Oh, sure it is. Trump hasn't. He talks a lot about bringing in more people with education, with higher level degrees that speak English well. But the key word there is talks about. In actual practice, he hasn't done much about it.
A BS artist.
Basically, the Trump administration credo is keep them all out. All right. So I mean, and I'm not just talking. That's not just my opinion. That's just the way it is. But regardless, yes. In terms of an employer sponsoring an employee, depends on the job. I mean, if a particular position requires a level of education or a specific degree or high level degree, then that person needs to have it. And if they do, they can apply and get their green card that way, typically within a matter of a year and a half to 2 years. Or for lesser skilled positions, whether it's, a mechanic, a carpenter, cook, nanny, those are all possible as well. Different category under the law, but certainly doable in roughly the same amount of time. So in fact, you mentioned nannies. I mean, I can't even think of how many nannies have come through our firm over the years in terms of getting their green cards. Certainly still available, not quite as simple as it used to be back in the old days, but certainly still possible. Absolutely. The key is when applying for a green card through an employment category, you have to maintain lawful status. If you don't, basically that opportunity is gone. You must be in lawful status. And again, with the ban that is apparently about to take effect, or maybe won't, we don't know yet, you have to be in the United States. If you're not in the United States, you're not going to be able to apply for your green card. You can apply for a work visa. You can still apply for that O or that P or that H2 or whatever it is if you're outside the United States, but no green cards. At least that's what the ban is proposing. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you sure did. All right, once again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is Cruising with a Case Handler. I'm speaking with Alex on O visas and P visas. I want to remind everyone, we're going to the top of the hour in a couple of minutes, so I need for everybody to switch over to Facebook. Go to Facebook, go to David Squeeze Aniki's Facebook page, or the Case Handlers Facebook page, or Pollack, Isaac, and Gasico. That's the PPID Facebook page, and follow us there. Now, the other thing that I'd like to say is, if anyone have any immigration questions, now is the time to actually place your immigration questions on Facebook, so this way I can read them off to the attorneys, or feel free to call 844-774-3529. Once again, I said, if you call us before the top of the hour, we're going to ensure that you get a free immigration consultation. Now, why am I pushing this so much before I get back to Alex? Is because, ladies and gentlemen, they're getting a ton of immigration consultation calls. And guess what? You've got to set up an appointment. They have to set up an appointment for you. You don't want your appointment being all the way down on the list. That's one. Two, Adam can tell you we broke the server pretty much on Saturday. I don't know what happened with the system with so many calls that came in, but evidently that's fixed right now, right, Adam? Let's turn on your microphone here. All right, there, I just turned it on. Good.
Absolutely fixed, but those are good problems to have when so many people are calling that you actually crash your phone server. That's pretty remarkable. And a lot of those people have consultations set up, and we're just looking forward to doing good things for them. That's exciting stuff.
Okay, good. 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. Nelson, I believe you took care of a friend of mine who was up in New Britain, Connecticut, who called and said that you took care of her friends, okay, and you retained them. Okay, need to talk to you more about that. They said, Squeeze, what about the discount? I'm like, hey, listen, okay, legally, I can't do anything with fees. All I can do is suggest that they give you some discount. All right, so I don't know if you heard about that. All right, Nels?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay. All right, so we'll talk more about that. Very important. Ladies and gentlemen, 60 seconds before we get to the top of the hour, we will be off of 93.5 FM. But we implore every single person to get on Facebook. Social media is the new radio. Radio is not going anywhere, but social media is the new radio. That's the reason why PPID is here. That's the reason why we're cruising with the case handler, 8:30 every morning on 93.5, but also on Facebook. And remember, place all your questions on Facebook. We will answer your questions. We'll talk more about different kinds of visas. Maybe you are here in the United States. You'd like to find out more as to how you can get into status. Maybe someone overseas need to come to the United States. Let us help you by way of the law firm PPID right here on Cruising with the Case Handler. The number to call is 844-774-3529 for your free immigration consultation. That's 844-774-3529. Let's switch back over to Alex and talk more on P visas. What are P visas, Alex?
So P visas, the P1 is the equivalent of the O1 for individuals, but for groups, right? For more than one performer. And the criteria track the ones of the O1 category. So if a group has an international acclaim, they would have to prove the exact same things as an O1 individual will have to. It's important here that it's the accomplishment of the group as a whole that matter, not the individual performers in it. So if you have a super group, like you have 4 people that are O1 caliber themselves, but they haven't performed together for over a year, and the group itself hasn't, doesn't have the documents to prove that the group as such has achieved international acclaim, it's not going to work. There's other ways to make it work, but not as a group. The B2 is also for entertainers, but it's a very particular subcategory. It's for performers who are performing in an exchange program that's been approved by the government. Frankly, I've never seen one of these. It's very limited, and I just, for 17 years, I've never had a single P2. What I have seen a lot of is P3s, and those are for performers, individual or as a group, that come to perform in a culturally unique program. And cultural uniqueness can be, has to have elements that are very particular to a particular country or a region, right? I think reggae would be a perfect example in this case. And it doesn't have to, the entire performance doesn't have to be culturally unique. It could be a fusion performance as long as it contains elements of that particular traditional culture. Or it could use an instrument that is specific. The example that comes to mind is the didgeridoo, right? I mean, it's a very distinct instrument. So it could be, a regular pop performance, but they're using didgeridoos that may qualify as a P1, as a P3, excuse me. The length of time that you get on a P visa is 1 year. Or if the tour is shorter, it will be limited to the duration of the tour. The O1 can be for 3 years. But again, if it's for a performing artist who's coming here on a tour, USCIS will require confirmation of every single date. And that, as a practical matter, becomes a problem because not many people plan, 3 years in advance. So these are the distinctions between the O's and the P's.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cruising with a Case Handler. I'm speaking with one of the attorneys from the law firm, Pollack, Isaac, and Basico, call it PPID. And she is proficient in the capacity, not just of the O visas, but yes, the P visas and a whole lot more. We're very happy in having her on the show here, and hopefully we'll have her in the future again. I'm quite sure, Alex, that you're going to be getting a lot of folks coming at you about the O visas and the P visas. I mean, I mean, myself as a businessman, I've kept quite a few events here in the United States where we had to fly a ton of artists up and we had to work on their visas. And I want to appeal to all the entertainers out there who have been asking me about this, all the people out there who have been asking me about this area. Reach out to the firm, get a consultation, speak with them more about how you can get that entertainment visa, how you can get that O visa, that P visa. Alex is your woman, all right? Can't say you're a man, you're a woman, all right? So make that call, and the number happens to be 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Gonna switch it over to personal injury for a second. Don't want you to feel left out here, Mr. Handler.
Never do. You know me. I'm all about getting the information out to the people. We can talk immigration till we're all blue in the face. As a white guy, like I said yesterday, that's pretty easy.
All right, so let's. We're going to be getting back because I've got a couple of questions for Nelson Madrid also. But let's remind people, and one of the things I like about the fact that we've got the personal injury capacity at the firm, the immigration capacity, and yes, the criminal defense capacity, they're very, very important, is a lot of people do not know, and I keep repeating it, but it's the truth, okay? A lot of people do not know if they're out of status and they get into an accident, that they can still seek, of course, compensation. And you have done that for several, if not hundreds of clients over the past 15 years. Okay, so I wanted for you to expound on that and also, of course, give a true success story.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would estimate that probably 20%, maybe a little bit less, maybe 15% of the cases that we handle here at the firm for personal injury victims are out of status residents of the United States and are here, you know, either overstaying a visa or need to have an adjustment done in another capacity. But, you know, that's what we handle. And absolutely, we say this and we stress this all the time, that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. If you're hurt in New York, you are absolutely entitled to money under the law. And we've done some incredible things, not only for people that are out of status living here in New York, but people that were visiting and have since gone back home to their countries, Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, and we actually send the money or able to wire the money down to them to compensate them for all their losses. So we've done some incredible things, extending visas and adjusting status so people can stay here, get the medical treatment they need. We've had situations in which people have been critically injured, required extended hospitalization. We had one kid that was airlifted from the accident scene. There was no way he was going back to Jamaica in wow. 2 weeks when he was scheduled to. So Nelson had helped me with that case. And it just shows you, a true team effort. Also, a lot of issues we've had here. Somebody doesn't have a social security number. So you get somebody $800,000. What are they supposed to do with it?
Yeah,
They're certainly not gonna put it in a coffee can and bury it in the backyard. In fact, some people say, "Oh, well, my uncle, he's a green card holder, or my aunt, she's a citizen. Can't we just put the check into her name?" I go, yeah, if you want that $800,000 to go away like that, we're able to, through our contacts in the banking system, able to set up bank accounts for people using alternate sources of identification.
I never thought about that. I'm very happy that you brought that up. I never thought about that.
Oh yeah.
They just hit me. I'm like, whoa.
The most I've ever gotten for an out of status resident here in New York is $2 million. And we were able to open that bank account, and their money is invested, and their money is growing, and their money is working for them, and they'll never have to worry about anything for the rest of their lives. So
I think you realize what you just said, and you need to repeat that part, because people who are watching this, and we do replays on 93.5. You just said the most that you've gotten for someone who's out of status, okay, is $2 million. Do you know how many people are listening to you and said, "Did he just said out of status and they got $2 million for a settlement?"
Yeah, it's incredible. And I remember when I went down to Jamaica back in November, we were in Montego Bay, and we were flooded with all the hotel workers who I was speaking to, of course, chatting it up what we do here in New York, and in talking about the amount of money that we're able to get people. $2 million in the United States down in Jamaica, or not even 2 million. I mean, those are extraordinary numbers. But what about the person that I get 180,000 for? 180,000 American, and then they're going back home to Jamaica. What you're able to do there. And I remember getting this overwhelming sense of pride in that, really changing lives. We can change lives up here in the United States, but we can change generations down in Jamaica if you choose to go back to home with 2 million or $1.6 million or $900,000 American. Truly incredible. And those are my true life success stories. You always like talking about those sexy cases in which somebody got in an accident and this is what happened with the judge. That's my success story today. That's my testimonial. Being able to change lives, having people come up here or having people go back home. People text me, they were able to put on a wedding for 300 people or buy a home for their mother, or finally, I don't know what it is. A lot of Jamaicans seem to have property, but not really doing anything with it. And a lot of people call me, I finally was able to, build that house on my father's land that I had in the family for 60 years. So thank you for that. Really changing lives. And that's what we do here at the firm. And we're thrilled to do it. Nothing makes us happier than being able to say that justice was served. Personal injury, it's money. That's the way the civil system works. But in immigration, justice is served when we're able to advocate for our clients and get them legal status as the law dictates. Sometimes you got to navigate through it. Sometimes there's loopholes, and sometimes there's, as Alexandra said, a lot of documents involved. But we are dedicated to providing the best possible service for our client. We are dedicated to achieving the best possible outcome, no matter how long it takes. And that's the difference of Pollack, Isaac DeSico. That's the difference of the case handler team. And that's why I don't mind listening to these guys talk immigration all morning long, because it's so exciting, the amazing work that we do for our clients.
Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Handler, the case handler. So if you ever get hurt in an accident, listen, the proof is in the pudding. Go to the website, thecasehandler.com, and you will see the millions of dollars in settlement on that website. Ruthie does an excellent job in actually putting up those testimonies and organizing it in such an easy way so that you can actually see and read through those. So yeah, we're advocating.
I'm sorry, if I could just jump in for a second and throw out something that's kind of important. A lot of those people that Adam represents and a lot of the recoveries that he gets for his clients, most of those people, or certainly a lot of them, are here temporarily. They might be on a temporary tourist visa or a student visa, or, and have to go back. These cases, these personal injury cases, don't happen overnight. It takes sometimes months, years for them to be completed. So very frequently, Adam comes to us saying, hey, I have this client who they're not going to be going to court for another year. So is there anything we could do to keep them here? That's where we come in. And that's why we make such a good team. We find ways to get people extensions of their visas, find ways for them, if they have to leave, to get them back into the United States. Again, this is why we make such a good team. In fact, that's how we met in terms of doing cases like that. When Adam wasn't part of our firm, it's become a joint effort. We work together very well, and it's been going well now. How long is it, Adam? 6 years?
Yeah, it's almost 6 years now.
We'll hopefully be doing it for another 50 or so.
Are we waking up this early for the next 50 years? Oh my God. I'll be wheeling you to this broadcast.
All right. So once again, folks, cruising with a case handler. When it comes to personal injury, I want for everyone to know that here in the tri-state area, respectively, New Jersey and Connecticut, you need to call the firm. You need to call the case handler himself, because Adam, you've got one choice, one chance. And who are you?
Your case handler.
There you go. So make that call now, or store the number, dial the number, let it ring. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Got a question here that I need to jump into. Well, the first one is, this one is for Nelson, as I had promised. This gentleman here was on a drug conviction. He was in jail for 10 years. Okay. Happened to be a friend of mine who I know very well. He hit me up, went to school with him. All right. Grew up with him also in the Bronx. and he was convicted, okay, and he went to jail for 10 years. He's saying that no one is harassing him, no one is troubling him. He does not have a citizenship. He wants to know if he can travel to Jamaica, okay? I mean, I know what you're going to tell him, but I wanted you to tell him yourself.
So, you know, typically when someone is incarcerated for a year or more, that obviously leads me to believe that the charges were somewhat serious. There's a big difference, especially when you deal with drugs, the type of drug, the quantity. So I would need more facts.
He said it has to do with conspiracy.
Right. Again, I would need more facts because there's a big difference between sale and possession, conspiracy to distribute. You know, again, I don't feel. I can tell you this. My general answer would be, do not travel.
Exactly.
I mean, undoubtedly. I mean, that's my go-to. You know, just based on the length of the sentence which he served. Now, immigration is actually or ICE is very peculiar. ICE does not do things methodically. Nothing with ICE is black and white. You know, I've had clients get arrested their first day of probation. I've had clients get arrested their very last day of probation. I've had clients go to court and get arrested in court. You know, I've had clients serve a 10-year sentence, and all of a sudden, when they least expected, you know, someone's knocking on their door at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're looking for John Jones. You open the door and they're like, I'm sorry, what is your name? And they take you into custody. So I guess don't sleep on ICE is my point. Because they haven't come for you, it doesn't mean they won't. Right. But again, I would like to know more about the criminal case and his involvement, you know, because again, you could be a main player, you could be someone not as important as the rest. It all depends. I mean, I have a case right now where my client pled guilty to, I think it was transporting checks. It was federal charges, but my client wasn't a key player. We just had my client apply for citizenship. So, you know, again, a lot of this is fact driven. You know, I'm not trying to dance around the question. I just, again,
I understand. Right. And something of that magnitude, I would suggest to anyone out there, as a matter of fact, if you have ever been arrested, it's not just about turning in the disposition to, you know, Nelson Madrid, the Maverick, the top gunner, when it comes to anyone who have been arrested and you're seeking, you know, your status in the United States. But it's more about understanding the facts of the case. It's more about understanding what happened in detail. Hence, you know, Nelson can be very surgical with your case in handling it, okay, for you in front of the Department of Homeland Security. So
just to add, I'm sorry, Squeeze, you know, I would want to see the indictment, the criminal complaint, like, as you said, not just the disposition, you know, because all of these documents can potentially come back to haunt you. And while you think you weren't a key player, the documents reflect otherwise.
Right, exactly. And you know, and then there are the areas of expunging and vacating and all of that. And that's one of the reasons why I say to everyone, go to PPID, go to them. They've got criminal defense attorneys, they've got different departments. It's a full service law firm. So right now, people, I know you're watching this. Do me a favor, dial the number, store the number. Even if you don't need them now, we say store the number. If you do need them, you need immigration help, you only need one firm. So make sure you reach out to them. The number is 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. Easily remembered, 844-PPIDLAW. Adam, you look like you want to say something. You have that.
I always want to say something. It's like, you know, there's an expression. How is that? Why is I always want to say something, and I'm just listening to Nelson, and he used the adjective, or you use the adjective surgical. You know, lawyers are professionals, doctors are professionals. Our job, even though it's not treating somebody medically, it's still providing a diagnosis. And to provide a diagnosis, you need all the information possible. So no doctor would diagnose you with any kind of condition or disease if they didn't have the radiology reports or the blood tests to have a full picture. Just hearing it directly from the patient isn't enough. And that's what we do. That's the,
it's the same thing you do. It's the same thing you do as a personal injury attorney, as the case handler, where I have heard you talk about situations where you get cameras from stores nearby. You research and investigate.
My ability to be successful is based on the evidence. That's photographs, witness statements, videos, police reports, things like that. But that's what we do here at PPID. We're not just fly by the night, flying by the seat of our pants, trying to figure a way, to earn a fee and move on to the next case. We really, dig deep into these cases. And Nelson, I've seen him. He's actually, gone to people that are locked up. We'll go to prison and speak with the inmate to see, exactly what's happening and if we can help them. And Nelson will be the first one to say, sorry, there's really nothing we can do for you. But if we can help, that he's going to give it his all. That Alexandra will give it her all. Conrad will certainly give it his all, and encourage the rest of the people to really get a successful result. And again, that's what came across my mind when I heard Nelson talking, because that's really what we're doing here. We're providing information. We're definitely advertising our firm, but in a way, I feel like these broadcasts are like extended interviews for us. We're letting everybody know out there, how we conduct ourselves, what we believe in, what we fight for. And if what we're saying makes sense to you, then you'll have our number saved. You may not need us now, but you may need us in the future, and you certainly may know somebody now that does need us. So we can't give out the number enough. It's 844 PPID law. If you're watching this on Facebook, we're giving this information absolutely free, no strings attached. I always say, tip your waiter, share the page, comment on the page. That's a way for it to spread, to go viral, and to let other people know out there that may not know, what we're doing, how we're able to really do some incredible things for the people that trust us with their one and only chance.
Oh man, listen to you about going viral and all of that. Seems like,
well, no pun intended, but you know what I mean.
All right. So here's a quick immigration question as we flip it in to the immigration question here. My friend, this one is from let's say Shelly. All right. It says, my friend is here with her 3 kids a few years now, and they're out of status. Her fiance applied for his citizenship, but not yet received it. Would it be wise for her to get married? And if she does, would she receive their work permit?
I'll take that one. As usual, we need some more information in order to answer that question perfectly. But I will assume her fiance is a U.S. citizen. I will assume that she and her children all entered with visas and have overstayed. If that is the case, then yes, she should definitely marry her fiance as a U.S. citizen. Once he is a U.S. citizen, he can apply for his wife. And if the children are under 18 at that time, or at the time of the marriage, the U.S. citizen spouse can also apply for the children. They can all get their green cards. Right. Typically in New York, the process is taking roughly a year and a half, 2 years right now. They can get permission to work in roughly 6 months. If the fiance is a permanent resident, that's not going to happen. He has to be a citizen. In addition, if the woman and her kids did not enter with visas, or if they did enter with visas but lost those passports that they entered with, they wouldn't be able to apply for their green cards in the United States. There are some exceptions to the rules I'm throwing out right now, but generally that's how it works.
Okay. All right. So here's a situation. This gentleman here, let's call him Wolf. All right. Says,
what name did you pick?
Wolf.
Wolf, the wolf?
Wolf. Yeah. I mean, that's he's got that nickname here. So.
All right. Oh, you send in the wolf? All right.
Wolf.
Wolf. He said, I have a question. In 2006, I was told by a man that he worked, who works at the British Embassy, and he could get me a visa to go to Britain. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I went through with it. I gave him the passport, gave him the money, and I was able to go. I went to England, spent 2 months, and came home, and thought that I could get a U.S. visa to visit my siblings. Also, his mom is also filing for him. His mom is filing for him, and he has tried twice. He got turned down for the visitor's visa. He's now wondering if the filing by his mom is going to get, if he's going to be affected by that.
I'm not really sure where the question is, but Alex, you want to take that one? Show him what you got.
Pretty much, he screwed up by doing something illegal by getting a visa to go to England, which has nothing to do with the U.S. Okay,
That's right.
But now he wants to get a U.S. visa, and also his mother is filing for him. So he wants, and he got turned down for the U.S. visa. Okay, they didn't tell him that that's what it was, the English thing, but he wants to know about the situation with the filing that his mom is doing or in process.
Alex, you take it.
So the visa for the UK was fraudulent, is what you're saying, or no?
Yes.
But he did say that he went to England and worked and came back. So
well, it appears that it was fraudulent. I mean, the bottom line is that he got somebody who works in the embassy, gave them his passport and money. He got the visa. So the
we're talking about the British embassy.
Yeah, I'm just saying about that part. Yeah. But now he went to file for a U.S. visa. He got twice, and he got turned down on that.
Okay.
So
did they get so? Number one, I would like to know why he was turned down for the U.S. visa. Mm-hmm. Often, when people get turned down, it's because they can't meet the burden of showing that they have the intent to come home after the visit in the United States is over. Right. If that's the case, he should be reapplying. Generally, though, if the consulate knows about some facts that would suggest that there's fraud,
right?
And that mostly goes towards fraudulent statements that he has made to the U.S. authorities. I mean, I'm not sure how the U.S. would know what happened with the British visa, but if they're denying for fraud, they will say it in the denial letter. They would say, we're denying you on this and such provision for fraudulent misrepresentations. Okay, right. So there is a waiver for this, but it gets too complicated. So number one, why was the visa denied? If it's just for not being able to meet the burden of showing the non-immigrant's intent, he can reapply. If it's for fraud or misrepresentation, then he has bigger problems. Now, his mother is a U.S. citizen, you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is he married? Is he not married?
Didn't say all of that.
Okay, so the mother has filed an I-130 for him or not?
I didn't say all of that.
Okay, so it really depends. So the mother can file the petition for her son, at any time. It has nothing to do with whether or not he will, ultimately get the visa, because at that time the inquiry shifts from the relationship that qualifies him for the immigrant visa petition to whether or not he is eligible for the visa itself. So any misrepresentation would come up at that point, and that may be years from now, right? So the mother, yes, the mother can file the I-130, but in order for us to know whether or not he will be ultimately successful in coming here, we need more.
He needs to call.
There's also another factor involved, and I've mentioned this a few times, and so this is a fairly common situation with our listening community. As I've said, the law presumes that all persons trying to come to the United States are intending immigrants. They're intending to come here permanently.
Right.
If that person, it sounds like he's been trying to get a tourist visa to come here. If his mother has applied for him to get his green card, it's going to be very difficult for him. Putting everything else aside, the fraud or whatever is there, it's going to be very difficult for that person to obtain a tourist visa, because that's a temporary visa. If his mother's applied for him to get a green card, he's already indicated an intent to come to the United States permanently. You can't have the same intention at the same time. Or rather, you can't have the two different intentions: to stay here permanently, to come here temporarily, simultaneously. So when his mother applied for him to get him his green card, basically that eliminated most likely any chance of him getting a tourist visa to come here.
Gotcha. Once again, folks, Cruising with the Case Handler. That's the name of the show. 8:30 weekdays on 93.5 FM. And obviously on Saturdays at 7 p.m., Sundays at 12 noon. We had a wonderful show yesterday. I want for everyone right now to actually store the number for the law firm. That's what I want for everyone to do. Store the number by dialing it right now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And that number happens to be 844-774-5600. 3529. Dial the number, store the number. If you would like to get a free consultation with one of the immigration attorneys, make the link, make the call now. Your consultation will be free off the air. That number, once again, happens to be 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Also want to say, if you get hurt in an accident, reach out to the case handler. Okay, his track record says it all. Call him. Store his number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Coming up about an hour since we've been on, lady and gentlemen. Anyone want to add anything before we conclude?
I think we're going to bring on our partner, Fred DeSico, on Thursday. He will be talking real estate matters specifically, but Fred DeSico, the D in PPID, is the head partner of the real estate and transactional department. A lot of people asking about what they need to do about rent right now, both as tenants and landlords. We represent both sides, and he'll be giving some insight as to that. So make sure you tune in Thursday. We'll bring him on first thing, as we did with Alexandra, and hopefully Alexandra will want to come on again. We went nice and easy on her today, not with the really tough questions, but she's pretty amazing, and it's gonna be hard to stump her. But we tried today. We weren't able to, so we'll see what we can do next time. But we're looking forward to that.
Again, I'm sorry, Adam.
Yeah, no problem.
Again, it's just an indication of we're trying to show everybody out there that we have people, we have lawyers at our firm that know their stuff, and we cover every aspect of immigration law. And as these weeks will proceed, you'll all be seeing it squeeze. You'll see the type of professionals we have working at our firm, and they know every inch of immigration law. So I think it's an exciting prospect. And again, I'm thanking you for having us here to show everybody and for everyone to see the type of services we're able to provide.
Oh, that's beautiful. And as I've asked before, I would love to get a 60-second spot from each person. Just hi, I'm Conrad Pollack, and you can catch me on blah blah blah. Hi, I'm Alex, and hi, I'm the Maverick, Nelson Madrid. I'd love to get that from you guys also, so we can put that in full rotation across our programming here.
I'm gonna make mine a musical one. I'm gonna do something on the piano, and I'll do something.
Hey, that would be great.
Advertising immigration. I have to come up with an immigration-related song.
Maybe I'll join you with my guitar then.
There you go.
All right, Alex, I want to say thanks for coming on the show, cruising with the case handler, and shedding light on the O&P visas. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and hopefully you can break up this male-dominated show here in the morning from time to time. With all these guys here. So it's a pleasure seeing your face here and actually getting a wealth of information from you in the capacity of immigration where O's and P's are concerned. So thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Nelson, Top Gunner, the Maverick, thank you so much for being here, man. I'm very happy that you are there to help out a lot of people within my community and other communities, especially those that have had a run-in with the law and has passed that. However, want to fly straight and stay here in the United States, or find out how they can live their lives here in the United States, file for citizenship, and more. So thanks again to you also.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And Conrad, thanks again for being the maestro. Tomorrow, I would love, we totally forgot to speak about it while we were on 93.5 FM. We were talking about people who want to attempt or go ahead and try to file their cases themselves. And you were warning me, saying, one should not necessarily do that because there's a lot of, situations that could arise from that. So let's talk a little bit about that as soon as we get on tomorrow.
Absolutely. At 8:30. I'll remind you first thing in the morning, because that is an important topic. Things have changed. Things are, it's so much more difficult now, and there's so many more pitfalls that an individual can encounter if they try to do an application themselves. The main one these days being the new public charge rules. I'm afraid a lot of people out there really just don't understand or even know what it is. And it's going to happen.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what a public charge
Well,
is.
there are even lawyers out there. I mean, we're all still trying to figure out exactly what it means because it's brand new. And in fact, another thing that happened this past weekend, the Supreme Court, I believe there was an action where a motion had been made in court to stay implementation of the new public charge rule, and the Supreme Court turned it down. So it is going to be effectual right away. And again, there are even lawyers out there right now that don't know the ramifications of this new rule, and people out there trying to adjust their status based on a marriage, which, you know, in the past they might have been able to, or they have friends that they were able to do it successfully. It's going to be a lot more difficult going forward. And these days, if you apply for adjustment of status and are denied, they don't just forget the application was denied and put you into a pile and that you never hear from immigration anymore. No, these days you do hear from immigration because they send you what's called a notice to appear for immigration for removal proceedings. So it's a potentially very serious matter. So we'll talk about it tomorrow in more detail.
Yeah, it's critical and very important, Conrad.
What did I say to you yesterday, Squeeze? An individual that represents themselves has a fool for a lawyer.
An attorney, yeah.
We'll make sure we press that point home tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right, and with that said, Adam, why don't you take us home?
Monday, April 27th. We're here. We're giving back. I can't stress to you enough our sincerest desire to showcase our firm, what we do, and give you your legal question, provide quality legal answers to your legal questions, absolutely free of charge, no strings attached. Again, we just ask that you share the page, like the page, let other people know about what we do. We're going to come out of this stronger as a firm. We're going to come out of this stronger as New Yorkers. We're going to come out stronger than we were as Americans, and we cannot wait to have everything in row when we're ready to go. So please give us a ring, save the number. Hope to hear from you soon. Tune in tomorrow, 8:30, Thursday. Fred, we gotta come up with a big one.
I thought you said you're calling him the Dean.
The what?
I thought
the Dean?
Yeah. Fred, the deal maker DeSicchio. No, we'll the deal maker.
The negotiator. How about the negotiator?
Yeah, the negotiator. Right. We'll have some fun. He's actually the most charming out of all the partners at PPID, and that includes myself as well. We vote Fred. He's the guy that gives the speeches at our holiday party. So
That's
you know
true.
we're going to be, we're all going to be in for a real treat on Thursday. So
Wow.
Thanks again for tuning in. We love what we do and we love sharing it with you. God bless.
And as we leave, ladies and gentlemen, we must remind you this has been an attorney advertisement brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and Seco. And of course, prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. However, here's what I'm saying to you. Dial their number, store their number. Whenever you need an attorney, you listening to this on the station 93.5 on Facebook, you're in the tri-state area, you only need one law firm. So make sure you make that call. 844-774-3529. You also get a free consultation. Call them now, 844-774-3529. And I'll leave you with this. Don't just get the free consultation, okay? Retain them. I told you all the secret yesterday, what you got to do. I can't let them hear that, okay? Adam got wind of it, So 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Thank you all so much for sharing the page. Tune in if you're in the tri-state area, even outside, you can use the internet, to 93.5 WVIP FM. And we'll be on at 8:30 tomorrow morning with more information. Yes, on personal injury. Yes, on immigration. Thank you all so much. It's been great.
Thanks for having us.